Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Jose Mourinho press conference reaction. His first press conference of the season and some big topics to discuss. He spoke about transfers. He spoke about quite a lot, to be honest. And yes, I am modelling the new Manchester United home kit. So give us your thoughts. Drop a like if you like it. I'll be announcing the winner, not necessarily of this shirt in a moment because this is a medium. But I like, you know what, very quickly, I do like it. I think if it's there, it's fine. The black stripes, the red, absolutely fine. It's when you stand up, you get this black bit at the bottom. I'm a little bit unsure about it. But look, and also, people who are moaning about me being 20 minutes late, you need to understand that the Jose Mourinho press conference reaction is set at the time the press conference starts. I don't go live when it's on, I go live afterwards, so I've got everything for you. So, less of the moaning and understand. But, joking aside, let's crack on. He was asked about transfers. He says, I've got no idea on transfers. I don't know. Fred was a long process. We had that deal in. We were working on that deal for a long time. It was a long process. But as of now, I can't say whether there will be more signings and I can't say whether there won't be any more signings. I've got no idea. That was the word of Jose Mourinho. Very little given away about transfers. I was just having a look on social media before I went live as well. A lot of people saying he's getting his excuses in early because he did say it's a bad pre-season twice. He says, I've got no players to work with. I'm worried. It's a bad pre-season. It's great for the young kids because they get to train. It's great for the new coaches because they get to train. But for me, it's a bad situation. I've got none of my players to work with. Fred will join up next week with Matic and De Gea, which is a good thing. They will be available to play against AC Milan and Liverpool and Real Madrid. Mourinho said, I don't care if we get thrashed in any of those games. It doesn't matter to me. What does matter is that obviously the Premier League matters and we've been given shortchanged by the Premier League because we've had our game brought forward to a Friday as well. But I suppose you could say that he's, Dennis G 2000 says, Jose gone by Christmas. And somebody said, a very good question, which I'm going to answer because I don't dodge them for you. I think it's only right. Somebody said, honest answer, Mark, what was your interpretation of Jose Mourinho's press conference? Well, for me, we learned nothing positive about transfers. We learned nothing positive about the season. We were basically told that pre-season's a waste of time because he can't work with his players. We were told that his players aren't going to be ready for next season. It just, what I do feel is, I said something today and I'm going to say it again. Liverpool, the stock price of Manchester United has dropped and Liverpool have smashed us in the transfer window. I can't believe we're going to come out of this window with those two things still happening. The only way the stock price is going up is if United do something positive in the transfer window, and that will also mean sitting Liverpool down, which I'm going to talk about on the 8 o'clock show more. But I believe we are going to do something. But actually, if you took what Jose just said on face value there, I would be very worried. And I do sort of feel, before I take some of your comments and tell you all other things that Jose said, because there was a fantastic comment at the start. The interview started and he said, I've got some big news I want to share with you. And I was like, my heart popped. I was like, oh my God, he's going to announce Bale or something like that. I can't believe it. He's going to announce something absolutely amazing. And then he said, my daughter's graduated and I can't be there, but that's the job. And I was like, oh, congratulations to Jose Mourinho's daughter for graduating. It's a big achievement. But he suckered me in for a moment. I thought, oh my life. Devil's Ace said he said exactly the same thing he would be saying in my comment on the last video today. Fact. And come on, Ed, please, says Jordan Allen. Sandro, please, says Baron Death. And this isn't a Liverpool chat. No, it isn't, Zach. I don't know why people are talking about Liverpool. But what I was going to say is my personal feeling is, and everyone's going to have their own interpretation, I'm not despairing. I'm not jumping off a cliff or anything like that. I know some people will be, and you could read it that way. But what I would say, I'd say I'm confused because I just feel like I'm in a parallel universe to the Manchester United and Jose Mourinho, because last time we checked out of Manchester United playing games, we just lost a cup final and we were 20 points behind Man City. The fans were turning on the manager. We were playing rubbish football, and we all went into this summer thinking, Mourinho's in trouble, Manchester United are in trouble if they don't do big things in this transfer window. 2 months later, we've done nothing in the transfer window. Our manager does his first press conference and says, I don't know whether we're signing anybody else. It's a bad pre-season. We're not going to be ready for the start of the season. And I'm like, are we meant to forget where we were last season? Like, we were a mess. We played rubbish football. We lost the cup final to a poor Chelsea side. And we were lucky to get second place because it was everyone else was rubbish apart from Man City who annihilated us. Where's the improvement? And on top of that, you've got Alexis Sanchez, who probably won't even make it. That's what Mourinho said. He doesn't know. They knew the situation with his visa, but he may not get out. I mean, that's just great, isn't it? He's running around a bloody pitch at Carrington on his own. Get the tea lady to get in goal for him. He can practice some shots. I don't know what's going on with that. Dalot is injured. He's injured. He's not going to be back till September. Tony Grant is a third choice keeper. Dalot is injured and not back till September, so he's not going to be. I put him in the team today. I thought he was part of the bloody squad. He's not. He's going to train with the squad, but he's not fit to play. He won't be back till September. We've got Fred, who's going to be there next week, and that is it. That is it. And Fred effectively replaces Carrick, doesn't he? So I just that's the thing that baffles me. To be honest with you, I don't know whether the journalists get told they can't ask certain questions or they're just scared to ask certain questions. But the quality of questions, yet again, in the press conference was poor. Now, if it's middle of the season and it's a home game against Burnley, I don't expect the press to ask him something like about Martial or something like that. But it's the first press conference of the season. I would have expected some decent questions about the issues of last season and what they're doing to address that. At least something, left back, this, that and the other. Ask some direct questions about certain players. It was so moribund and it was so safe and it was so easy for Mourinho to manipulate the situation. He was asked about Paul Pogba and I think he sent a message to Pogba. I don't know how anybody else read this, but it's Phil and Grant, not Lee Grant, Kieran Brook. But he was asked about Paul Pogba and winning the World Cup, and he said, well, it's always a positive thing to win the World Cup, but I would hope that Pogba understands why he was good. Which is, I think it's a bit of a dig. I think if it was Fellaini or Matic who'd won that World Cup, it would be all praise. But I think with Pogba, it's like, yeah, you've won the World Cup, but do you understand why you've won that World Cup? Do you understand why you were playing like that? And I think it's to get into Pogba's head to say, last season you weren't good enough for Manchester United. Why are you doing that with France? Do you understand why you're doing it at France and why you're not doing it for Manchester United? And the word pragmatic was used by Jose when talking about the World Cup. So, interesting there. We heard at the start of the week that there's still an issue between Mourinho and Pogba that needs resolving, and maybe that still is the case. But let's have a look. Bad pre-season, as I said. I'm worried, bad pre-season. No, not sure on Sanchez. Joel Pereira will go on loan. That's why Phil and Grant came in, because he needed to get Joel Pereira out on loan, the goalkeeper. He feels that he is a Manchester United player of the future. No idea on transfers. Fred was a deal they were working on for a long time. And that was pretty much it. He said no players to work with. I've got no players to work with. Didn't really speak positively about whether the youth could come in or not. I'm not surprised and I'm not depressed. What I am is confused, and I do feel as if I feel like we're Premier League champions and everyone else has got to catch up with us. This used to happen with Sir Alex sometimes in the summers. We used to get the no value in the market summers. And basically, we'd be Premier League champions. We wouldn't buy anyone. And people around us would buy people and we'd get panicked. We'd be like, well, we're just standing still. They're going to close the gap. Then we go into the season and Sir Alex Ferguson would work his magic. And it feels a bit like that this summer. But the difference is, I keep reminding myself, we're not Premier League champions. We're nowhere near Premier League champions. We're miles behind somebody like a Man City. And we have got people catching up with us. And we did play bad football. But we're not signing anybody. We're just sitting there going, I don't know whether we're going to sign anybody. It's a terrible pre-season. I'm not going to have the team ready for the start of the season. And it's like, well, if the stock price is low, what are Manchester United fans supposed to do, really, seriously? And I find it a bit comical, really. I'm not going to rant or anything tonight. I mean, what are we supposed to do as fans when nothing is being delivered to excite us, and then you get the manager saying, we're not ready. We're not ready. I don't know whether there's going to be any signings. I've got nothing to work with on this tour. I don't care if we get thrashed. It doesn't matter. But it's a nice little trip for the youngsters and the new coaches. And I'm like, what are we supposed to do? I mean, from a marketing point of view, we're a fantastic football club, Manchester United. You know, I'm sure we sold loads of these yesterday. I mean, I bought one, bought two to give away one of you lot in a minute. But they don't seem to grasp why the fans aren't happy at the moment, or at best why the fans are a little bit unmotivated, because they're not delivering anything. They're not delivering anything to us, are they? And Jose, certainly, I'm grateful to Mourinho, really. You know, I can't criticise Mourinho. I know a lot of people are, but yes, maybe he is getting his excuses in early, but why shouldn't he? He's the one who's going to fall on his sword when this all goes wrong. And I think that he is getting his excuses in early to say, look, you know, this isn't the squad. I couldn't work with it. Having said that, there is a flip side to the coin, and there always is. We're playing Leicester in the World Cup. No, not in the World Cup. On their first game of the season, they're travelling away. We're at home. We've got home advantage. You know, we've got 75,000 Manchester United fans cheering us on. That's a big advantage. We should beat Leicester. Then we've got 8 days till the next game because that's a Monday. So we've got a big gap after that home game against Leicester. Leicester have got Harry Maguire, Vardy, off the top of my head, who were World Cup players. They've lost Mahrez. So they've got not great. I think a lot of teams are. I mean, look at the Man City tour squad. It's no different to ours. It's full of youth. John Stones has said he's coming back for the Community Shield a week before we play our first game, and he's been part of the World Cup squad. So these players can come back early if it matters to them, and I think a lot of teams are in the same boat. So I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think Mourinho and Woodward have a relationship where they publicly always back each other. But I just wonder if beyond it's a bad pre-season, I'm not ready, we're not going to be ready. I'm wondering if Mourinho subliminally is letting us know he ain't ready because he hasn't got the players. And maybe that will get picked up on again on future press conferences. But he really did shut it down dead today. No idea on transfers. I don't know. And most disappointing of all is the signing of Dalot. There was some rumour today that Fosu Mensah could be going on loan to Valencia. And a lot of you said, well, as soon as we signed Dalot, he might be a great young player, but that's surely Fosu Mensah's spot. Well, Fosu Mensah could be going out on loan. Dalot's not fit till September. So I would say Phil and Grant, the goalkeeper, Dalot, I wouldn't even count them as signings for this summer. They're Dalot's for the future, and Lee Grant is just Tony Grant or whatever it is. I need to learn his name. I keep calling him Phil and Grant. Is just a third choice goalkeeper. So Fred's the signing, and that's never going to be enough. We need Alexandro and Maguire, says Ryan. Well, apparently Maguire's been linked with Liverpool. I'll tell you what, if they get him, what a summer they've had in the transfer market. Marcus Profit says Jose's still making excuses while others coaches are improving their teams with the players they have. Look, I was arguing with somebody on Twitter today. I said Alisson wasn't even going to be a Liverpool player at the weekend and they've signed him. Oh, he's been linked to them all summer. If you follow transfers at the weekend, Liverpool had not even had talks with Roma. 3 days later, they've signed him. Fabinho, 8 o'clock at night, is linked to us. 9 o'clock, he's a Liverpool player. They do business quick. Chelsea do business quick. Mourinho even said the Fred deal was a long process. They'd been working on it for a long time. So, and look how long it took them to get that Fred deal done. It was about 6 weeks from when we knew it to the end. So we are ridiculously slow at transfers. Hopefully, I still think we will get some stuff over the line, but it's we're in trouble, says Andrew Ebanks. I wouldn't go that far, but Liam, I'll say what I like, thanks, mate. And Lee Sharp was signed again, says John Carlos. If Liverpool gets Maguire, it'll be an L for us, says Baron Death. I mean, we're not in for Maguire anyway, are we? It's just as fans saying we would like Maguire. We're not in for it. Liverpool are going to be miles ahead of us. City are... Wait, no. Well, I'm talking about that at 8 o'clock, Ewan. I'm not concerned about Liverpool, to be honest. And how about Di Maria to United, says Halstead? Oh, God. Just get Gary Cahill as well. Valencia cannot play week in, week out, says Annie. And it's funny because every player that plays great in the World Cup gets linked to United, says Aaron. Yeah, well, that's always going to happen. Freddie's coming back next week. Yay, says Kaushik. That is good news. He needed to be back. He needed to be on that tour and integrating himself. So at least on the tour, when we're doing the watch-alongs, we will get to see Fred from next week as well. No news on Sandro, Eric Lloyd. So, yeah, fantastic. Give me the shirt. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to announce the winner at 8 o'clock because I don't want to just do it on my phone like that. I want to do it. I want to get the phone thing up on the screen so you can see who the winner's going to be, because I could just go, oh, look, it's Flex, which it's not going to be Flex. So I will announce it on the 8 o'clock show tonight, the winner of, not this shirt. We have got a shirt for you to wear. Well, we haven't got it yet because you might be an extra large or a small. So we haven't got it for you yet. He didn't mention, good question there from Young Lord. He said, any news on Martial, Mark? And Mourinho did actually say this tour, although he hasn't got the players he needs to work with, it could be a really good tour for people like Luke Shaw, Eric Bailly, Andres Pereira. No mention of Anthony Martial. No mention of Anthony Martial, which surprised me a little bit, but maybe that's an indication that Luke Shaw's going to stay. Okay, anyway, we're back at 8 o'clock, so I don't want to dwell too long. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. We do this throughout the season. After every Jose Mourinho press conference, we go live for a few minutes to give you the reaction to it, because there's always a lot of questions to ask. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all at 8 o'clock, where we're talking more about Pogba, more about the Liverpool-Manchester United axes, and why you shouldn't worry about Liverpool, and anything else that pops up. I'll speak to you all soon.